all the same, no matter time, no place. They don't understand that us kids are gonna make some mistakes. So to you other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue, parents just don't understand.
What's happening with Hill Green? You're watching Hill Green TV. I'm your host, Hill Green, and I'm sitting here with writer, author, motivational speaker, Daree Allen. Hello, Daree. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, everybody. What's going on?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's a little chilly for where we're at, but
yeah, one of those cold days. You know, you can't get away from those.
That's why I'm sitting like this. Like, I'm not really this stiff all the time.
Okay, cool. So now's the time for everybody just to chill back, relax, and enjoy our show. So, Daree, I hear you just written a book. Tell us more about that.
Yes, actually, I've written 2 books. They go together. It's called What's Wrong With Me? This is the book and this is the workbook. And basically these books were taken from incidents that occurred in my life, kind of almost like a memoir or autobiography, but not in total, just the parts that are relevant to teenage girls and young women. I would say probably about the ages of 13 to maybe 20 will really enjoy this book. And I'm actually getting a really great response too from women, people that are my age, and not all of them have children. And they're reading the book and they're finding a lot of similarities between myself and their upbringing, talking about things such as self-esteem, friendships, toxic relationships, dating relationships, premarital sex, church and religion, beliefs, just trying to find yourself in your identity, understanding why you feel the way you do, why maybe you don't get along so well with your family members, birth order, things like that. These are all things that shape us as we grow up, as we're coming up from, like I said, the ages of 13 on, and we're really starting to change. Our personality may be fixed, but there's different incidents that happen in our lives that kind of shape the kind of adults that we become. And me personally, I didn't have a mentor when I was growing up, and so I think that there were times where I was kind of misguided. There are certainly people that need mentoring in different communities, like at-risk youth and certain impoverished places, maybe people consider to be the ghetto or what have you. But then there's also this misconception that those are the only types of people that need mentoring or that need help. I grew up in a neighborhood where it's predominantly white. Actually, the whole town is predominantly white. You can hear by the way that I talk, a lot of people used to say that I speak very proper, and they would always pick on me.
Only because we pronounce our words as they should be pronounced.
Yes, because I'm speaking English. What's wrong with you? And so again, What's Wrong With Me is the title of the book. It's got a lot of different topics in it that I just mentioned, and I came from a middle class family and I had issues. I can imagine that it doesn't matter what kind of economic backgrounds. I just want to shatter that myth that only people that are in certain types of economic situations are the ones that need help. We all need help. We all need mentoring. And those of us that have come up, like myself, and now we look back, we need to be able to reach out and help someone else that's coming up, because they think we don't understand. They think that we're acting as if we've never made mistakes, that we don't understand them. And that's the worst thing in the world, is to feel alone because you feel like no one else understands what you're going through because of the way you look. You know, if you look really good, or your hair's a certain way, or you drive a certain type of car, you couldn't possibly have any problems. At least that's the way it seems. And even adults look at each other sometimes, and we size each other up, and we think about, oh, okay, well, I couldn't talk to her about that. She wouldn't understand, because look at her shoes, look at the way she, you know, the car she's driving, or look at her weave. You know, she got money, she don't got no problems. But the truth is, we all have things going on the inside, and we may not want everyone to know about.
That's true.
And I think that we need to, you know, unmask some of that stuff. I'm not saying put all your business in the street, but unmask some of it. People always talk about, let's keep it real, you know, let's keep it 100, let's keep it real. And are we really keeping it real? You know, an analogy that I like to use, Hill, is that you can walk into a dark room, okay, the lights are out, it's dark, but when you walk into the room and you stub your foot on the couch or on the coffee table, is it there? It's there. So just because the lights are off, just because you don't want to talk about it, you don't want to show it, doesn't mean it's not there. And those things that we pretend are not there are the very things that can trip us up, that can cause us to stub our foot, that can cause us to knock and jack up our knee, because we're not seeing it or we don't want people to know. And so I just want to kind of caution people to kind of step back, think about the facade that you might be putting out, reach back to someone else that's less fortunate. We all have something to share with each other. I don't care if you're older than me or you're younger than me. I can learn from you, you can learn from me.
That's true, that's true. I mean, simply put, everyone has some kind of issue, whether you can see it or not, that they're dealing with. I mean, you can take the most beautiful person. Take, for example, someone like Beyonce. Yes, she's beautiful, but somewhere deep down inside, everyone has one or two issues that they're dealing with. So there's no one that's perfect. There's no one that's perfect. So in order to overcome your issues or your challenges, it's always good to let someone know, because a lot of times people isolate themselves feeling like, I'm the only one going through this. You have a lot of young people who are being abused, whether it's emotional, sexual, or physical abuse. They hold it in and they keep it to themselves because they feel like they're the only one. But understand, there are millions and millions of people in this world. So there's no way possible you could be the only one going through that exact situation. So there's someone out there who can share in your pain and help you come out of your quagmire or that miry pit that you find yourself in.
Absolutely.
Being older, what do you feel like are some of the challenges that our young people are facing today? Because like you said, a lot of times young people look at us, think that because we're a little bit older that there's no way we could possibly understand what they're going through. Understand times have changed, but however times change, some things remain the same.
Yes. Take a perfect example, okay? Technology is moving at like a, lightning speed, right? When I was coming up in the 80s, we didn't have cell phones and all that. We didn't have texting and all that. But we did have phones. We did have some technology. It's just progressed a lot. And what's happening now that I'm not faced with is the cyberbullying and the harassing by text messages. People sexting, they're sending pictures of themselves, scantily clad or naked to each other, posting it on the internet. There's a lot of videotaping going on of some,
With the camera phones and stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of that going on. And so technology is adding into already the human issues that we already had without technology. That's just exacerbating the problems if you use it in the wrong way. I mean, technology is great if you use it for the right reasons, but of course if you use it for the wrong reasons, it just magnifies more problems. A lot of times what I see is that people don't communicate as much. They kind of have this misconception that if I've got a cell phone or BlackBerry, I've got all these different gadgets, then I'm more connected. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm more connected. No ma'am. Just because you have all this stuff doesn't mean you're more connected if you can't look me in the eye and have a conversation with me and speak in proper English. Maybe you don't have those interpersonal communication skills. If you are sending an IM to someone in another part of the house to say that dinner is ready, that could be a problem if you do it all the time. It could be a problem if all your communication has a screen somewhere with it. If it's always on the laptop, always on the phone, and you can't talk to somebody face to face and use those visual cues, because there's so much that's lost in communication when you don't have that body language in front of you. I know this. I have been working from home since 2005. And so sometimes if you don't already know someone, of course if you know someone, you can get some verbal cues on the phone. Oh, okay, maybe she's kind of bothered that I'm calling her. But if you can't look someone eye to eye, someone you've never met before, and the only place you know them from is a blog or Twitter, and that's the only way you've ever met them, or that's the only way you ever deal with them is because you've got a screen facilitating that communication and nothing face to face, some of that stuff is going to be lost. So it's not something that's insurmountable, it's just something to be aware of, is that our communication, and this is for everyone, not just the youth, our communication suffers when we so much focus on that technology and we don't ever just sit down and have dinner together as a family and just say, what's going on with you, and look at our kids and really look at them and see, okay, well, what happened today at school? Nothing. It's okay. Is it really okay? Well, if you're texting somebody, you can put whatever little smiley face or emoticon you want to put on it, and you don't know if it's really okay. But if I'm standing in front of you,
you gotta smile, but I can feel those fake
LOL. Is it really? Are they really laughing?
Interesting. So yes, that's, you just brought up a good point that, there's no better communication than that one-on-one, face-to-face communication.
Parents are the same no matter time, no place. They don't understand that us kids are going to make some mistakes. So to you other kids all across the land, there's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand.